No, I've heard this from other people as well. When you're first diagnosed, or when I was first diagnosed, I had such a huge flush of people come out of all of the woodwork to support me, give me money, do whatever they needed to, or whatever they needed to feel better, because it doesn't come from a perspective of what the patient needs at that time. But it helps all in all. But as you go along your journey, your support definitely starts to just naturally drop off. And, some of it is literally just life getting busier. You move around. For me, half of my support moved while I was still um, in the middle of getting my degree because they all graduated and finished in the time that we were supposed to. Um, so it definitely trying to find that support later in life or later in the journey, I would say, because there's never really a start, or there's never really an ending point. It's just like an ongoing journey for everyone that's involved in it. But yeah, finding that support, it can be the most important thing for you. As simple as it may seem, the simple showing up, um, and just like, so somebody, you know, taught me, like elder taught me that like whenever you think about somebody, you should reach out to them and let them know that they've popped up on your mind. And that's just a simple way to just keep in touch with someone. So instead of like you think about them and then you're like, oh, I need to schedule a call, like, and then the call never gets scheduled. As soon as you think about them, if you just send them some sort of message that lets them know you just thought about them, I think those little ways have been the most important as my journeys progress. It's like people who have kept tabs on how I'm doing in the longer term. And for me, I just had my 5 year um, cancer-free scan last year. And so I decided to celebrate and people actually showed up for it. So I think another way is like declaring for yourself that you're going to show up for yourself, and kind of setting that expectation of this is how for me, I decided like, this does mean a lot to me. This is a big thing. I am going to try to turn it into a event that I'm going to ask people to come to. And I was blown away by just the amount of people that did come and show up, or those who just wanted to show up. And then them also just like continuing to listen to the stories. I have one friend that would sit on the porch with me when I was going through treatment and would just sit there on days when I literally couldn't do anything but sit on the porch and watch the day go by. And she was going through class, and so she would just sort of give up her day to sit there with me. And so I think just finding that support, finding them showing up constantly day after day. I think if I'm speaking to people who are trying to support those going through it, I think another thing I would just say is like, be patient. Be patient with yourself. You're not going to know what to do every second and every day, but literally just physically being next to a person or physically having an open avenue, whether that's calling them and you answer their call every time, or they text and you respond to their text. It doesn't have to be right away, but you at least respond to their text. Showing up in those consistent ways mattered the most for me in the end.